It is a weird time. It's January, which is a quiet time for Star Citizen. Not much is happening. They've released their fourth quarter update. There are a couple people in the office that are keeping things pretty much good to go. Well, as good as you could ask for. But the company itself is pretty quiet. The devs are not too active on Spectrum. There's a little bit of activity. There aren't any new posts coming out. We haven't gotten anything in 2 weeks. And obviously there are no new ship sales or ISC or Inside Star Citizen or anything like that. It is a quiet time for Star Citizen and for CIG. Quietest of the year. But we can still look at previous years and see maybe what we could be expecting. So first we're going to scroll back all the way to the comm links of last year. And that'll show us actually that there wasn't anything really going on in January of last year at this time. They were just kind of getting us ready for the next year. They are actually doing all of their planning right now. Or at least that's what they tell us. I think that they're just all hanging out in Cabo having a vacation. What do I know? That's a joke, by the way. I don't actually think that. Gap between the last post of the year, previous year, and then this week in Star Citizen of the following year. Now, that is today in this year. So we should be getting this post today. There is a post to the message of the day, I believe, talking about the roadmap roundup coming out next week. And if we go and look back at last year's first couple weeks of the year, I don't actually see a roadmap roundup, so that we might be getting that earlier than we did last year, which is good. They actually waited, I think, until February last year to do their roadmap roundup. Here's a 26th. Let's see if there's any others. We had that monthly report, the In Case You Missed It sale, but I don't see any roadmap roundup. So the In Case You Missed It sale last year, it looks like it happened around mid-January. I released a video that shows all of the ships that came out in the previous year. Should help you if you're looking to get a bit of a recap. But this is a bit of a new style of sale that they've been doing that I'm not crazy about. But it will be happening. The November and December monthly report also comes together in January because we don't get that December monthly report. This one isn't necessarily that much bigger, even though it's been held back for a month. But it should give us a little bit of information on what they're doing at the end of the year and some insight into what's going on towards the beginning of this upcoming year. The weird thing is, this sort of stuff doesn't necessarily get into the game, I don't think. So last time we got a November-December roadmap monthly report, they were talking about the contested zones, which did come in immediately after. They were talking about connecting Pyro, server crash recovery. They were rebalancing some stuff economy-wise. Working on some of their, see, a lot of it was like, we are supporting the end of the year stuff. A lot of this very well might be, oh, we were working on Nix and engineering and the last narrative stuff of 2025. It might not be that interesting 2026 info we're looking for. We've got a new message of the day. All right, message of the day is reading, Happy New Year's, everyone. Throughout this week, we will be looking through 4.5 hotfixes for live and working on inclusions for the next release. We'll update here soon once we have a hotfix updates and are closer to our next Evocati PTU cycle. So, preparing for the next Evocati, it likely means we'll be seeing Evocati sometime this month, which means we'll be getting some kind of a patch towards the end of this month. Now, I don't think it's going to be 4.6. I imagine it's 4.5.1. They don't even have 4.6 on the roadmap yet, which means they're still not even that tentatively sure about what might be in the patch. But I imagine next week, we will have something. I mean, they didn't say anything specific about Evocati being in soon, but if they're saying we will update here once we have hot fixes and are closer to our next Evocati patch cycle, then that means that within the next couple of updates, they should have an Evocati patch cycle planned. Oh, he posted it in French. I will just have to get this translated. We'll have more feedback from the teams throughout the week, as this week marks the official start of the new season. We have a roadmap update planned for January 14th with some initial 4.6 maps. Okay, there we go. So 4.6 is probably going to get its first real, our first real ideas of 4.6 will be next week. And that'll be the first thing that really tells us what the heck is going on. But as of right now, this is pretty normal. Honestly, we don't usually get roadmap updates this early on in the year. They usually come in February because they spend a lot of time doing their plans and getting everything figured out that they want going forward so that they can give us this sort of big dump. This is what happened last year. We got this huge dump of what's coming after 4.0. and everything getting brought onto this roadmap, it still doesn't say that much about like what's coming immediately after. You can see this was about the 1.0. Yeah, this is about 4.0.1, but a lot of this was just kind of, here's what's being worked on. So the roadmap roundup is one thing, because it will tell us some stuff, but the fact that they're giving us a good look at 4.6 now means that they are more securely on their cadence this year. I think that there's going to be less of a disruption in our content and in everything going forward than there usually is. Now, besides that, we also have the Daymar Rally going on this month. I do not know if I'm going to be in it this year, covering it. Usually I go in there and I can cover it live. I like to make a video about it. Just, support the crew and give you guys an alternative view at it. We still have our teams in there. GII Racing is very much going at it. I think we got 2 teams this year, 2 or 3 teams. Vastin running, racing as always, like a real one. And we will be taking part. I will have the runners, the creators of the Daymar Rally on the podcast in a couple of weeks. So even if I'm not in there, definitely drop by on the second channel, check that out, see if there's any cool insight if you're into this kind of thing. It's a huge race though. It's freaking 500 kilometers, 510 kilometers across Daymar, real time. It takes like 4 hours, three or 4 hours on the smallest, on the shortest, and like up to 8 hours from the longest route. So it's certainly not a normal thing. You don't see this in video games very often, and I think if you are into Star Citizen and what makes it unique, consider checking this out. It'll be on January 24th, and it's going to be like a most of the day thing, so you can pop in, pop out whenever you'd like, and just see how things are going. Come in and cheer on GII. Cheer on your folks. That's mostly it, to be quite honest. We'll meet back up for the roadmap roundup, but that's really a look at what's going to be coming up this month, what we have planned for the next few weeks. Keep an eye out for 4.6. In case you missed it, sale, Daymar Rally, and of course, we'll have some more roadmap news and other stuff coming up over the next couple weeks.